friends, welcome back. Happy Friday to all of you. I hope you had a great week. For our project today, we're going to be creating this trifold folio, and I have used the Berrylicious collection from Mintay papers. It's absolutely stunning. It has red, white, and blue, but it is definitely not a patriotic theme collection. It just is so full of beautiful summer inspired images and those warm, rich colors. And of course, all the wood grain is perfect for kind of vintagey inspired projects. So we're gonna make the base first, and then we'll finish it with the beautiful pattern paper. So stick with me and we'll make this together. Okay, so here is the base for our folio today. Now we have made this in previous projects, but I wanted to show you guys again just how quickly these go together. It doesn't take a lot of materials, and it's a really good foundation. It's very easy to adapt it to different designs. So if you want to make Christmas or Halloween or make a birthday folio, there are so many different options once you have a good base to work from. And so I really thought this would be great to cover again today because it is fairly minimal in supplies for the base. So what I've got is this first piece of 110 pound cardstock. It is 7 inches tall by 8 3/4 inches wide. I've come in and scored it at 4 and then at 4 3/4. This will be the left hand side of our folio. The second piece is also 110 pounds. I'm gonna cut this one the same height, that 7 inches, but this time it is 8 1/2. So my first score line is gonna be at 4 and then at 4 1/2. Then I'll have a spine on the right hand side of a 1/2 inch, and we're just building in the amount of depth we need to hold all of these layers. So 2 additional pieces are going to come in, and I'm switching this time to 65 pound weight cardstock. They're going to be 7 inches tall again, but now 8 inches wide and scored at 4. So these are going to be full size page tip-ins, and this really helps to increase the real estate in the book. You want to have a lot of room to add all the finishing details. So I've just put my double-sided adhesive tape around this back piece, and so I'm just going to join these here, and it's pretty easy to line them up, position correctly, so you can see now how that will fold up. Okay, my 2 pieces that are scored in half are going to be on the outside, and I want to line it up with this seam here because I don't want to have any trouble with this closing correctly. So I'll just go ahead and add that, and I've lined that up with that seam. So now we have a full-size page flip, and there's one for this side as well. So this will be a trifold, but it will have the full-size page flips on the end. So I think it's a good time to go ahead and put the back on. It's easier before any other layers are added, and I've just got that beautiful pattern paper. Okay, so that is the back. The first thing I want to do is work on the pages that are here that are going to be the flips. So on the inside, I have planned for this beautiful floral pattern, and I'm going to be matting all of my layers with this beautiful navy cardstock. And this happens to be 110 pound, but you can use just regular 65 pound for that. But it does make it a little bit extra sturdy, and so that is nice. I want these to match because they all show together. So I'm going to utilize the full sheet. When you cut into those 12 by 12 pattern paper sheets, you want to be able to get the most use out of it without creating offcuts. So the size I picked is 4 by 7, and so I was able to get 3 of these panels across and then a final section from the offcut of that. So I got 4 of these panels out of the one piece of the pattern cardstock. So let's just go ahead and finish this side as well. I've got these cut with my regular borders, so they're going to have a nice layered look. Trying to remember to keep the butterflies going upright. Okay, so these pages are going to flip out, and they are beautiful. Let's work on these pages now. What I've done is picked my favorite journal cards from the cut apart sheet and used the same navy border on that. I'm going to add these to my tip-in, so I just want to center that with all the same borders. I think it looks very nice if you make all of this consistent throughout. And then there were a few of the journal cutter parts I didn't care for as much, so I just utilized the back portion of it. The B side has the same 3x4 orientation, and these have some sections where you could include some journaling. So I think that works perfectly to include areas where writing can be added easily right to the paper. So this is going to be opening toward the left as my page would open, and I've got this beautiful pattern paper here with the birds and the berries. It's just so sweet, and I'm going to add that to the back. I'll slide it down just a little so we can see more of that bird. And I'm just going to tuck that tab in here, and it will be secured between all of the paper layers. So I can just add this here. Now you can include as many pockets or additional items as you like. Just remember to include a little bit of extra room in the spine because you want your book to be able to close properly. Here's our journal card for this side, and remember this one is going to open toward the right, so we've got to keep our flap on that side. Just another sweet kitten here, and I'm going to attach it just the same way, adhering the flap around the outside, positioning it on the book here. So now we have 2 journal card size tips and then 2 full page size tips. Okay, let's work on this center portion. So I've picked another one of those larger floral and flourish patterns, and I oriented that graphic area toward the top so it wouldn't get hidden underneath my pocket. Here is this navy cardstock. It's going to create my pocket, and I'm just wrapping this around the back, positioned toward the bottom and centered so that I can wrap these tabs around the back. I've already added my adhesive, so I can just adhere this right to the book right now. Now I'll use a layering pattern here to dress up the front of my pocket and tuck in another one of those journal cards. Remember I mentioned earlier that you can add things to the backs as well, so I'm just going to tuck that right into there so we have one more page that has a pocket. So this time I'm going to go with that beautiful blue floral pattern, and I'm going to put my pocket on just the same. Use the same pattern to layer on top and tuck in one more of those pretty journal cards into the pocket there. So this will be the first pages that you will see when you open the book, and then we'll continue to open like that. Let's work on the cover now. So I've just folded my folio flat so I can work on the cover, and I'm going to pick that same beautiful blue floral pattern one more time. I think this is probably my favorite from the whole collection. And add my layering pattern. Now I picked this doily because it doesn't have as much bulk around the outside. This is a smaller folio, and I want to make sure that I show enough of the background. So I've got this cut from white cardstock, and this will help to break up a little bit of the patterns for layering on my focal image, which is one of the journal cards. Now I just took my stitched edge tag die and clipped it out of the background. It makes it a little bit smaller so that I have room to add all of the finishing details. I've also put in an eyelet here and put a little twine through, and this one is going to be popped up on a spacer. So we'll get a little dimension from this focal image. Okay, my flowers are here, and this is a combination of Little Birdie Crafts and some that are made by me and some that are from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I wanted this to be a very compact arrangement because our cover is a little bit smaller and narrower. So I did add just a simple bow, navy wrinkle ribbon, and a couple of loopy twine bows here as well. So it is a smaller but still beautiful floral arrangement for the bottom of the book. And I pulled a couple of charms here. They're both bird themed. One's a little bird cage and one's just a tiny little bird charm. I'm going to add it to the top as I always do, and then hide the tail under another one of these beautiful vintage buttons. That will disguise the cut ends of the string. I've got a couple more vintage buttons here. I'm going to anchor them here toward the bottom. And then I've also pulled my favorite sequins here, and I'll just put a couple on the top. That will help balance the embellishments here on the bottom corner and bring a little bit of sparkle. So I'll put one on the base and then two on the corner of the tag, and that kind of draws the movement or attention up to the other corner. I'm just going to use my Tombow to adhere these. Okay, so that's all for our trifold folio created with the Berrylicious collection from Mintay. I think this base is pretty versatile, and if you have time to be productive but you're not feeling creative, you might do a little busy work and create some bases ahead. That way you will be ready when you find the collection that inspires you to be creative. So that's all for this one. Now, I had such a good time creating with this beautiful collection that I went ahead and made a whole bunch of cards to go along with it. And so I'm using all of my favorite layering techniques and lots of beautiful flowers here from Wild Orchid Crafts, and I picked these up from Really Reasonable Ribbon, as well as that navy trim. And I've just cut some pretty doilies here and layered on my images with some die cut banners. I've got buttons and sequins for all of them. This one is particularly sweet. As you all know, that I am a cat person, and so I think these are just so charming. So here's two more cards that I made. These are going to be 5 by 6.5. Same beautiful paper layering, and those images are just so sweet. Perfect for summer. I know our summer holidays are over, but it's still pretty warm here, so we can appreciate the berries and the beautiful flowers and the foliage. So that is all for today. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, make sure you give me a big thumbs up and leave me a comment for the question of the day. I have been training myself to not require the whole collection when I pick up a new paper pattern set. So I picked out just the papers I liked from this collection, and I did not buy the whole collection kit. So let me know in the comments if you pick up the whole kit, or do you select the patterns of paper that you like and not worry about having the whole kit. Let me know that in the comments as well. And remember, you can find links there for our social media sites. Make sure you leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up. If you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe. And as always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day. And I thank you so much for watching. Bye.